this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what the masters at the school are like, the kind of instruction that you'll receive. I do get a lot of questions from people who are curious about that, so I'll kind of try to give you an overview. The masters at Kun Yu Shan are incredible. Like, there's really no way to really describe how good they are at what they do or their understanding of the martial arts. It's really impressive, and you've probably never met anyone in your martial arts career that is quite to the level of what these guys are. It's really fascinating and really just an incredible experience to train with them. But what is really awesome about them, beyond the fact that they've been training since they were kids and they understand martial arts like no one else, is that they aren't just there teaching because it's a job. They're there teaching because they really love what they do, and they're really trying to help you learn and really trying to teach you to the best of their abilities and trying to get you to reach your highest potential while you're training there. So during training, you're going to be pushed, and you're going to be pushed pretty hard, but the masters understand, they've been teaching a while, so they understand when you're giving your all and when you're holding some back, and they'll try to get you to give your all in each training class. And it's incredible the amount of growth that people experience and the amount of skill increase that they experience while they're training. They're pretty serious when it comes to training time. They're serious about their training, they're serious about your training, so when it's time to train, you buckle down and you get it done. Each master is a little bit different in their teaching style, but overall, they'll be pushing you and they'll be trying to help you as much as possible, learn as much as you can, and be as good at what you have learned as you possibly can be. And after class, it's awesome because they still have that same attitude of wanting to help you. And I saw so many times where students between classes needed clarification on something or wanted help fine-tuning something, and the masters in their downtime would actually help the students and really try to get them to learn the stuff so that when the next class period started, they were that much ahead. Now, it is important to remember that the masters do have some time off in between the classes, so you don't want to be like bugging them constantly, but it's really cool how much the masters are willing to help you even in their downtime. Something that I mentioned in a previous video, but it's really important to remember, so I'm mentioning it again, is these masters have been teaching for a very long time. They've been doing martial arts their entire lives. They understand what they're doing, and so if they're moving you along at a pace that you don't think is fast enough, it's probably for a reason, because they can notice things in your movements, in your body motions, and your skill level that may seem okay to you, but because they have a better trained eye, they know that something needs more work. So something that was really too bad to me while I was over there is that students would insist that they were doing something right and try to get the teacher to show them more than they were ready to learn, rather than listening to the master when he says, work on this more, and then later we can do more. They would try to insist on learning more, and instead of trusting the master's understanding of what he does, they thought they knew better. So fortunately, not too many students did that, but I did see a few do that, and it was really unfortunate that they had this wealth of knowledge, this incredibly skilled person who knows so much about the martial arts, and instead of taking advantage of the amount of knowledge that they had available to them and the understanding that they had available to them and listening to what the master had to say, they kept trying to insist that they knew better, that they should be learning faster. Now, that being said, compared to traditional learning, when you go to Kun Yu Shan, you'll be learning a lot faster than any of these masters learned when they were learning, these martial arts. They took a much slower road to learn the things that you'll be learning, but they understand that you're there for a very limited amount of time. So they'll try to teach you as much as they can, but they also don't want to teach you sloppy. So if there's something that they're kind of like holding you back on a little bit and trying to get you to work on more, instead of insisting that you understand that and trying to push on to the next thing, work your butt off on that one thing and try to get it down, and they'll see that you're putting the extra effort in, and they'll see when you start to make the improvement that needs to be made, and they'll tell you, they'll work with you as much as they can when they see you putting in that effort. Not that they won't work with you as much as they can anyway, but when they see that extra effort, it inspires them that much more to really help you fix that thing so you can move on to the next thing. But if you sit there and you say, man, I know this, show me the next thing, I'm tired of this thing, that's when you're really, first of all, being very disrespectful to the master, and then second of all, you're not going to have the skill level that you would otherwise if you would listen to them. So always, 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 always take advantage of the amount of knowledge they have when it comes to the martial arts. And if they say you need to work on this more before you learn more, take that as really sound advice and work your butt off on that thing. And they'll tell you when it's time to learn more. They're not going to hold you back on purpose and try to not teach you things, but they really want you to understand what you're working on before you move on to the next thing. So anyway, that's just a little bit about what the masters are like. They're incredible people, they're incredibly skilled. You are in for a treat when you're training with these guys and when you're learning from them. by all means, like, soak up as much knowledge and information from them as you can, and have a great time while you're training with them over in Kun Yu Shan.